I don't know how scripted their playing calling is, or if or who exactly is making adjustments at halftime. Sometimes with the play calling, but sometimes it's a mystery to me what they're doing. I still think the running back situation is. I don't understand really what's going on there. Running back, obviously, Ramir Johnson's number one guy, right? But like, how does he come from? I feel like preseason the number 4 or 5 guy to number one. So did those other guys do something? Are they not practicing hard enough? Did Ramir Johnson just become a night and day running back? I thought he ran the ball well again today, though. Um, Offensive line opened up a few holes for him, but the running back situation and the depth chart there, I guess, is what kind of is mind boggling to me sometimes. How does Minnesota losing to Illinois translate for you in terms of Nebraska losing to Minnesota? Yeah, I don't know. I I really don't think that Minnesota is that great of a team, especially after they lost Mo Ibrahim, their running back. Uh, but Minnesota looked at what we were doing on defense, and I think they really exploited some of those corners and some of those things we weren't doing well on defense. We were stopping the run, right? So I mean, they threw the ball and they did that well. But the Big Ten West is just such a mystery right now to me on how one team can lose to one team one week and one team wins the next week. So a lot of that has to be coaching, right? They're watching film, they're seeing where they can exploit defenses, they're taking advantage of those things. Um, I just don't is that not happening for us? Do we not do that? And then once we are kind of put in the hole in the first half, do we not make adjustments in the second half? Do we just go out and wing it in the second half? Uh, I saw that today with Illinois again, and it's just you know Brett Bielema must be doing something there for them. Yeah, talking about coaches and stuff, and man, I don't know. I There's some people that I talk to right now that are just 100% 100% sure that if we go 3-9, that Frost is not here next year. There's some people that thought if we lost today and we were theoretically no longer able to get to 500 this year, that Frost would be let go today if we lost today. I I don't think Frost gets fired at the end of the year. I mean, as terrible as 3-9 would be, um, man, just that'd be really something to see him go. Um, I'm not saying that I completely agree with one way or the other. I don't know if Trev wants to do that right now. I will say that I like Trev Alberts as our athletic director, and I'm confident that I'm confident that he'll figure this out and say the right things. Um, and if there is a new guy that comes in, you know, I think that Trev will be able to get somebody in here that can recruit well enough to kind of pick up where we left off. Because I mean that would be the main gap, right? Is if we don't if Frost is not retained, I mean where do we go with the recruiting and whatnot? But at the same time, I mean, what is our recruiting class like 90th in the nation right now? I'm so far out of touch with the recruiting just because we're not going to be taking many people this year, and a lot of it needs to be transfers. Um, I was on the train to go after a transfer quarterback last year. When you lose McCaffrey, you lost a quarterback. Why did you not add another one? To me, I thought that they should have gone after a high caliber transfer last year, even the year before that, and now we're kind of suffering from that. I think. Um, So I think they need to find somebody in that position. They need to go after a couple of offensive linemen, somebody that can rush the passer. And then I don't know how this running back situation is going to shake down because I feel like at least one or two guys are gone, right? I don't know if Sevian Morrison was even on the field today. I mean, even dressed out today. He didn't play, obviously, but I don't even know if he was even dressed out. So I mean, where's he at? How's Step feeling about all this? Marvin Scott. I mean, he hasn't touched the ball this year. So um, 3-9 he's gone, 4-8 he's back. That's what I've dealt to him. I mean, I kind of dealt that Brian, or who was saying that Kyle, 3-9 he's gone. I kind of, that was kind of where I was at the beginning of the year too. With you, to be honest with you, my prediction at the beginning of the year was 6-6. A lot of people thought, 7 wins, 8 wins for this team, and sure they could have done that, but we're still going to be struggling. I thought 6-6, and I thought that if we won 4 games, that Frost would still be here next year. Anything under that, I could not tell you 100% that he would be here next year. And I guess that's kind of where I am right now too, especially with the sentiment that Nebraska's president brought to the table this year or this past week, in that he's not 100% sure on what's going on next year. With that, he wasn't willing to say that. So I don't know. I thought they did enough today to not have to think about that. I think if the wheels fall off against Wisconsin and if we lose to Iowa by 40, then that might raise some questions. I mean, if you guys transfer, then we're losing a bunch of guys on defense. So you're kind of starting over anyway, right? After seeing all the teams needing new coaches, we won't get a good one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about as far as the town of coaches. A lot of people say who would want to come here. I don't necessarily agree with the who would want to come here because I think a lot of high caliber people would still want to come to Nebraska. With the resources and the conference and the challenge of building back the team where it should be. I think Frost might have been a little bit overconfident coming in. I think the comment of the Big Ten is going to have to adjust to us, like that just snake bites us, and it just to this day I just think that ever since he said that it was just going to be a rough slate for us, right? The scheduling, the vendetta that it seems like this conference has for us. It's just nothing was going to ever be easy for Frost coming into Nebraska. It was nothing was ever going to be given to him, and I don't think he really realized that. So yeah. Max, when AM had Teddy in, yeah, I thought Teddy Prochaska was playing really well, which was great to see, very promising. It was just rough to see him go down like that. But I mean, today, whew, uh, there were just so many blow-bys today at that position. Just countless, just coming off the edge. And I mean, that was the same position last week that we had that trick play and set up really well, and in that same position, the left tackle completely whiffed on his guy when the play actually had worked, and then you took a sack and then you didn't get third down, and you know how it goes. I feel like the offense just is always just one play away from completely ruining a drive, whether it's a loss of yardage or a penalty. There's just decent teams, good teams don't let one negative play derail their complete drive. I mean, I understand it's going to happen sometimes, but not as consistently as we do. So Yeah, man, it's crazy that we're talking about new coaches. I don't know. I'm gonna watch these last two games. I hope that they win. I hope they win both of them. It'd be really nice to win one of them and go from there. Uh, the hope, the hope meter is extremely low. I will tell you that. uh, it's really tough to have hope for this team, and then just because you know that you're just setting yourself up for the letdown, right? For the emotional letdown. So they're in these games, but you just know something's coming. So